and welcome to the 7-part series of the Spiral of Creation, which is using the chakras more in a spiral pattern rather than straight up or down. And it's a system that's used in, or patterning that's used in a system called the dream spell, which is based off of sort of the Mayan day counting. Some people call it an astrology, but it's, just sort of like a day counting patterning system. And in the dream spell, which is its own thing, it's based off of the Mayan calendars, but it is a little bit of a more modern take on it. They have this 7-day pattern of how we work through the chakras, and it's in a spiral of creation. And so what this series is intended to do is to take us through that spiral of creation. So in the very first reading, we are going to receive a download, open to inspiration. So we're going to work each week on clearing and understanding how we work with each chakra to help it sort of clear and open and be ready for what is going to be coming in. And so I'm going to be putting this intro to the series at the start of each of the 7-week actual videos. So if you've already seen this, feel free to skip ahead to the intro to the actual reading. But if you haven't seen this yet, or if you want a refresher, I would stay here. And also a note that it is very important that you do this in order. So if you're coming into this and seeing this when we're at the heart chakra, so like the 7th reading, or if we're at the throat chakra, which would be the 5th reading, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, the 5th one, whichever one you're coming in at. If you have not gone in order, I would highly suggest for you to go back and start with the first reading of the series because this is a patterning. The first one is going to kick it off, and each subsequent one is a step that you shouldn't skip over. So I'm just going to go over what this patterning is. So we start in this system with the crown chakra. And in the philosophy around this spiraling pattern with the chakras, this is where we receive a download, receive inspiration or a divine spark, and it starts the spiral of creation. And so in the first reading, I will be helping us to see where there may be any blocks or things to be cleared, connecting different insights into how you may work with this chakra in general, and then just getting any insights about what kind of download or inspiration may be coming, but leaving it open-ended. And it's going to be a full week between readings. And so giving you that whole week of time to sort of receive your download, sort of pay attention to what this reading illuminated for you and receiving the download. And then in the second week, we'll anchor it down into the body by going into the root chakra. So taking the download and grounding it, finding how we feel connected to this, and how we feel aligned in our depths with it. So finding, our connection, our alignment, and our grounding with the inspiration that came in. And then we take it back up to the third eye, and this is the week where we will be using inner knowing to help see where there's old programming that needs to be cleared away for new programming, a new creation to come in, and tapping into any inner knowings we have that can help us have vision with this, sight with it, so some longer term planning and strategy with it. And then we go back down into the sacral chakra. And so we take all these things the insights we've had and the understandings of maybe what's needed to be cut in terms of old programming, and we sort of transmutate that, we alchemize it and free up new energy to come in and start to move and feel a sensitivity and connect to some emotionality and fluidity around what this download is. So like beyond just anchoring it in and feeling connected to it, now we're kind of moving with it and feeling how it feels to us, which might help us to mold something about this or move something about it, and getting creative with it. But in the beginning, there does have to be some sort of alchemy that helps to take things we've seen that we need to cut away and sort of move it out of us as well, in order to get to moving it into us in a more fluid, creative way. And then we go back up into the throat chakra. And this is where, now that we've felt this energy, moved it, maybe molded something about it, there's something we probably want to speak at this point, release at this point. And so this is the reading where we'll connect to where there may be blocks around oppression or repression that need you to express something in order to open the gates and let it vibrate out in the world, resonate out in the world by you speaking your truth and releasing any blocks here. And then we go back down into our solar center, and this is where we find our core value with this, which gives us confidence and willpower and connection to manifesting and real sort of vitality around this to kind of charge forward and stake our claim in whatever this download has kind of turned into at this point. And then we end the series anchoring into our heart chakra, which is the center chakra of all. And it's where things fully integrate into us. So now at the end of this spiral of creation, something is trying to fully integrate here, which then opens our heart, helps us to radiate and be the presence of it and just be it. Be whatever the presence of this download ends up transforming into in this creation cycle. And in my opinion, this spiral of creation and working with the chakras this way, where we then really integrate something into our hearts, to me it's like the heart is the key that turns something on that then awakens the chakra as we're used to, the chakra system as we're used to hearing about it with like a kundalini rising. So I feel like we need to go through this spiral process and really anchor into our heart, which becomes a key that creates that kundalini rising that ignites all the chakras fully on and rising up and creating an awakening. And then we start again. It's like that awakening makes us fully open again, and then we're ready to receive a new download, a new inspiration, and a new message for a new spiral of creation. That's how I see it anyway. The dream spell system, they actually call these the 7 radial plasmas, but I think most people are more familiar with the chakra terminology. That system doesn't necessarily talk about that being the key for the kundalini rising. That's sort of my own opinion, and as I've worked this pattern a lot over the last couple of years, that's sort of how I feel like it works for me, at least. So this is where I'm going to leave you. Definitely go back to the first reading and do these in order if you're here for the first time at a later on reading. And you can definitely skip over this series intro now that you have seen it in the other readings, but definitely sometimes it's nice to have a refresher too. So if you feel like you need that, you know, maybe at the first one you watch this and the second and third you don't need to, but then at the fourth you're like, oh, I need to refresh with that. You know, whatever works for you. But once you've seen this once, don't feel like you need to watch it every time. So after this intro that will be at the start of each of the 7 readings, we will go into the intro for the actual reading. So I will see you in the intro for whichever reading you are at. All right, see you guys. Hello and welcome to CosmoMuse Tarot, and back to the Spiral of Creation series. So this is the 3rd reading of a series. So 2 things. A, if you have not listened to the intro series, which is at the start of each reading in this series, you really do need to listen to that first. And B, if you have not done part 1 or part 2 yet, you should go do those first. It does go in order and these build on each other. Sorry. Okay. That being said, if you are all caught up, you're in the right place. Let's dive into this 3rd reading. So we've downloaded some sort of message from our crown chakra, a download, an inspiration, a spark of the divine. You do not have to have this be something entirely profound if you're stuck there. Just any simple thing that feels like you want to start working on. And any sort of thing you feel like you've gotten some sort of spiritual connection to. It can be very simple, and you can re-go through this spiral as many, you know, for the rest of your life. You could do it one spiral every week because there's 7 of them once you've been through this process once. And on top of that, we're just getting a lot of information about how you work with each of your chakras in general. So in terms of even just that information, that's great too. So where we're at is we've downloaded something, we've gotten some sort of inspiration with the crown chakra. We went down to the root chakra and we grounded it into us, found some sort of embodiment with it, connection to it, belonging to it, alignment on the soul level with it. And now we're going back up to the 3rd eye, where we're going to gain a lot of inner wisdom about this and really see into any programming within us that might need to be cleared away in order to allow this to find some vision and sight in our life. So we'll definitely be looking at any blocks around programming that needs to be cleared out in this, and then we'll be looking at how you work with your 3rd eye or Ajna chakra in terms of finding vision and planning and sight with this. So we've got 4 piles, and you may notice a pattern that I'm kind of using the chakra card from the same 4 decks in the same 4 places in each reading, and you don't need to stick with the same pile. Whichever pile is drawing you in each of the readings is fine. You can switch it up. Okay, so we have pile 1. We have the Ajna card from the Sigil Oracle. Pile 2, we have a 3rd eye card from it's like the Wisdom of the Chakras, something like that. I'll put it in the descriptions. Pile 3, we have the 3rd eye card from the Yogic deck. And pile 4, we have the 3rd eye card from the Your Wise Animal Body deck. So if you enjoy the breath work I do, we'll jump into that now. Otherwise, you can pause and do your own process with tuning into which pile has your right message. So place your feet firmly on the ground. Feel that solidity, stability, being held by the ground underneath you. And breathe that in. really expand, anchor into, let your breath get you embodied into your body. Now let that out and then exhale. And we're going to inhale again, and this time suck that oxygen up, up, up to the space between your eyes, the third eye. Suck in a little bit more air to add pressure there. And then out loud, you're going to exhale, opening up your crown chakra, inviting in some inspiration. And you can pause now if you need time to do more of those breaths, or to just meditate on the piles and see which one has that kind of calm, anchoring, right feeling for you. Okay, I will see you in your readings. Timestamps are in the descriptions. Hello, Pile 1. Welcome to your third eye reading in this spiral of creation, as we go through each of the chakras in a spiral formation to really anchor something into us, really integrate some sort of new patterning into us from an inspiration we received in the first reading of this series. So I am going to put this card to the side. It was just a placeholder, and we will jump into the reading. So these top cards are going to show areas where you may need to clear some blocks or know something about some timing in order to really bring in how you've found alignment and belonging with your download into your third eye to find some sight and planning. And it's very likely that some of these blocks may have to do with how to clear out some old programming that may be in the way. Okay, so we've got Vesta, Wildness and Electricity, and Underworld. Very interesting. These feel, I was curious if they would kind of have a story or kind of go together, but these feel like maybe slightly separate things we need to look at. So first, this Vesta and Hearth card. Vesta is all about finding our inner flame, tending to an inner flame, really treating ourselves as sacred and stoking our own inner fire through things like self-love, tenderness, tending to passions, really making sure that the way we feel held in our foundations feels good to us. That's a way to really keep our fire, our body as our hearth, our body as our home, sort of lit up. We're going to pull some tarot, or a tarot card as a confirmation here. And we have the Star in reverse. Yeah, so the way you are currently kind of, I don't know why it's coming to me. It's like the way you're taking care of your body. It's not necessarily, I don't get the vibe that you're like unhealthy, but there's something right now where you could, you know, we're coming into springtime where, you know, detoxes are a popular time to do, or a popular thing to do at this time. And it may not be exactly a detox for you, whatever feels right, but something where it's like changing up your diet, just healthier practices around what you're eating, how you're moving, that make you feel like you're stoking some, you know, an inner fire. It's like it feels clogged to me in some way. So it might just be like incorporating some salads or green juices and doing more walking or stretching or something. And that will really help you to reconnect with energy within you and turn any it's feeling like there's a connection to this, and right now not being able to see with your third eye, not being able to see clearly, some sort of hope you're needing to connect to around this download that's going through the spiral of creation. So there may have been something in terms of how you anchored this in and found your belonging that's now maybe feeling a little bit sluggish and stuck, and you're not finding the way to put it into your third eye. There's like a block in your third eye from really having long-term vision with this now. And this is just saying like treating your inner fire better. So it may not even be your health or what you're eating. It's just that whatever that means to you, treating your inner fire better, treating yourself as your own temple. Whatever that means to you, that will really open something up in your third eye right now. Really help this to come in and help you to be able to see, find some sight with this. And in terms of breaking old programming, maybe in general, there's just like a lifestyle shift. It might not just be like right now, this is needing to happen. Maybe this is a new thing you're needing to incorporate, incorporate some new patterning in terms of how you connect to an inner flame within you and treat that and stoke it. Just like some new way of being conscious of that and incorporating something to consciously treat yourself as a temple. Okay, then we have death in reverse with this wildness and electricity. This makes me feel like whatever you're trying to bring into your third eye will really, so I think there's a little bit of a block as well in terms of really allowing this to go into your third eye, because I think it's going to really open you up, electrify your life, and transform things about you. And that can be really, actually, like, even though in theory that sounds exciting and fun, but in practice, it can really create some instability initially when that happens. So you may be having some just resistance because you know that really bringing, I have to take a sip of water. Really bringing this, this download into your third eye is going to require, some big changes, but just know that they will also just like really open you up and really connect you with that new hope, new vision. So it's like, there's just an ask, there's a resistance here. It's not like a block in terms of something like this where you may need to incorporate something new in general. This is a block in terms of like, there's just some resistance. But hopefully just the message that if you can move past the resistance, it's beautiful. It will really wake you up to just, there's like that phrasing of like, just do it. This thing, just do it. Sort of like, I think what you need to do to allow this in. It's like a step you're having to take that will shake something up, and maybe it's this step of treating your inner fire more like your body as a temple that houses your inner fire. That may just be what this is, the resistance is, because that does relate with that electricity and the fire and the star. So it does feel sort of like a progression in that sense of like, there may be resistance around stoking your inner fire because it's going to create some change, shake some things up. But just know that whatever that process ends up being and how it will end up feeling will be really liberating and really beautiful. Okay, and then we've got Underworld for our last thing to look at in terms of something that might be blocking you, blocking your third eye, or some programming that's needing to be cleared away. And we've got the Devil. That's very aligned, Devil and the Underworld. Yeah, some attachments. This is asking you to go into, the third eye is where we do connect with our intuition. And so our subconscious, and this is asking you, and maybe this is where the resistance is that shakeup, that transformation that's coming is going to push you to see something in your subconscious that maybe there's an attachment to, and you just have some resistance around really seeing. But the moment you see it, the moment you witness whatever it is in your subconscious that has you chained to an old way or attached to something that's actually not really healthy for you or doing you any good, the moment you liberate from it, all it takes in terms of doing the work of clearing that block is witnessing, is having the willingness to go into your subconscious, witness something, and that breaks these chains, these bonds, these attachments, and you transform and you liberate and you feel much more alive in yourself. So it may be some programming around expectations that you feel you need to live up to, whether they be childhood and family programming, societal programming, whatever they are. But there's something you need to release there and just like really connect to your own pulse, your own wildness, and really understand your particular way of stoking your inner fire that's unique to you. And by doing that, it will really open up your third eye to be able to see and bring this download, this inspiration that you found alignment with down in your root chakra up into your third eye to see in the long term where to go with this, to find a target, to find vision for this, to find some strategy and ways of planning, like a vision here. Okay, so now we're going to move down to the bottom row to look more at how, this is more about right now, what's happening, you're needing to clear things. But down here we're going to look at in general, how you work with your third eye, general information about your particular ajna chakra. And we're going to start with this card, which is about what is your relationship with your third eye. And so knowing more about how you have a relationship with it, how to strengthen that relationship. So you have integrity, and it says the energy of integrity supports our choice to be consistently truthful and honest while being guided by high moral standards. Yes, and that makes sense maybe why what I'm feeling up here is this might be typical types of blocks you get then, because you're so concerned, your relationship with your third eye is about integrity, about certain standards and certain kind of working within the limits and in the lines of things, to do things maybe in a traditional way. I think it can be easy for you to get sort of tripped up in the expectations of others and the expectations around how things have been done before and having to color inside the lines type of thing. But integrity also here, in terms of building a stronger relationship with your third eye, integrity also incorporates how you're being true to yourself. And so I think there's just like a little bit more need to listen to your intuition, to your inner fire. Your inner fire really has a strong voice that is calling out to be listened to, as much as you listen to expectations around you, because I think you maybe tend to get involved in things that involve others and hold responsibility in bigger ways. So you do, that does require you to uphold certain standards outside of yourself, but you need to equally be true to your own inner fire. And that makes your integrity all the stronger. So that's how you build a relationship, a much stronger relationship with your third eye, is integrity in a multidimensional way. How are you being integral to duties and responsibilities outside of yourself, but how are you also being integral to your personal flame, your personal truths? Okay, let's pick a confirmation tarot card for this. Six of Cups. Yeah, there could definitely be some really strong childhood programming here. That's not all not all of it is stuff that you need to reprogram or clear out old programming. I think there's some beautiful things in some of the childhood programming you had around integrity, and hence how you really connect into your third eye. And it's just like knowing the difference, really knowing your inner truth, and when there's changes in you, hence needs to let go of certain things that may have nostalgic connections to you. We evolve as humans as we grow and mature, and sometimes we just have to update things, even if they're not necessarily all that bad. It's just, our hearts change, our minds change, our bodies change, so much about us changes. And the more you can just really be true to what your truth is as it evolves, and, respect the programming you received when you were young, but know that you don't have to keep it forever. And sometimes that's bittersweet. But there is something here about letting things be nostalgic when they need to be, but also moving beyond to what's integral now. And that will really help you open up your third eye and see more into the future versus the past. Okay, this card is going to give some understanding and insight into different patterns or things that will show up that you will be able to notice when you are working really well with your third eye. So we've got health. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. Directly with everything we've been talking about with Vesta. That's so important for you to stay connected to what stokes your inner fire. Not only does that help you stay aligned with where your integrity is now and your truth is now, but I think it really helps your own health and vitality. And really keeping that concept of your body as a temple, hence how you would treat it with that lens, I think will be an important one. And when that's going well and your third eye is really open and clear, something about body and health will really come to the forefront in positive ways. And that's like a sign you're doing well with your third eye, really connected and open and active with your third eye. And then a confirmation here is the Tower in reverse. Yeah, and this is saying, I really do think there's a lot of old patterning around body, and it could even just be body positivity. We all have different bodies. Bodies are hard. And it might even just be your mindset, positivity, no matter where you are in the spectrum of understanding your body as a temple, of stoking your inner flame, of feeling healthy. Wherever you're at, the more you can kind of release yourself from old patterns and habits, especially I think from childhood, the more you'll find much better alignment and much better, just general ways of connecting to what works for you to stoke your inner fire. Okay, this last card is a little bit more about what it feels like and what's the methodology of your third eye when it is taking something in. So just, maybe some insight into like knowing when it's really on and doing something. So Lamont. Yeah, so when your third eye is really on and active, you may get a lot of vision, a lot of insight, a lot of intuition that's very artistic, that's very much so about creating harmony in life, beauty in life, really understanding how to orchestrate things, express things. When you're in that mode, that means that your third eye is in the process of like integrating something into it, of trying to connect to your vision. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, let's get a confirmation on that one. Strength in reverse. So, to me, this is saying there's like you also will feel, and I'm looking to this Lamont for inspiration too, it's like you'll also feel almost like out of body experiences where you just surrender into not quite, I mean, in a way it's like an autopilot. It's like your third eye is very cosmically connected. It's very inspired in itself. It almost has a similar effect as the crown chakra, where you receive inspiration, but once that inspiration makes it back up to your third eye, you yourself have a lot of just inspirational quality, but it requires you to really work with that. It requires you to kind of like surrender, be in a surrendered state, to let things just sort of organically come together. And it's sort of like out of ego, like being able to drop out of ego and just let something flow and come that brings you a lot of vision, a lot of sight, and that's coming from like your wiser, higher, wider place. That's, it makes me think like you're a very old soul maybe. And that's why your third eye resembles your crown chakra, or a crown chakra, is you have a lot of higher, wider self to tap into, a lot of experience on earth to tap into. And when you can just sort of like let go of ego, your higher self just knows how to orchestrate things, and it inspires, it takes the download, the inspiration, and when it comes back up to it, it kind of remorphs it with like more realistic inspiration, a vision inspiration of where to go with this, that's very inspired. Okay, now we're going to move on to You know, I'm staying away from really specifically talking about what it is that's moving through your spiral of creation, because I want that to be personal to each of you. So you hopefully are taking notes between each reading of what's happening for you and how that original inspiration is morphing as it goes through the different chakras. But I do want to just get like a beautiful message from your higher, wider self about the coming week as you really work to clear blocks and integrate whatever your inspiration is into your third eye, what you need to know, a positive message for you. So Pelican. Choose to follow the path of forgiveness and raise your vibration. And I do get the sense that this is a lot about self-forgiveness, clearing the blocks we've talked about, old programming, having hooks in, having to kind of live up to outside expectation, that kind of stuff, like self-forgiveness for not always being completely in touch with the truth of your current inner fire. That's hard to do when you know, are constantly connecting to things that really affect a lot of things and people in the world outside of you. So like self-forgiveness of not always having that perfect balance of putting yourself as much in the truth of yourself, of your fire, as equally weighted as, you know, being integral to responsibilities and whatnot in your life. So that's a beautiful message of how to kind of ease any resistance here. There's a lot of self-forgiveness that will raise your vibration and really help, just make this flow a bit better this coming week. Okay, last card. I want to find an ally for you, a guide for you in this coming week that can really help lead you into your third eye better. And so I picked the Nocturna deck for this because this deck is all about things in the dark. So it has a lot to do with our intuition, our subconscious, the things we have to really go inside to witness. Filling this card, Gecko. Okay, so Gecko is going to be your guide this week to help you on this journey into your third eye, help your whatever your inspiration that's moving through you into your third eye. Speed, sensitivity, sacrifice, positivity. To the gecko, size doesn't mean power. In fact, its small size typically means it can stay under the radar unnoticed. The gecko's extremely sensitive vision and hearing allow it to notice danger before it notices them. But if spotted, it can easily get away from predators due to its sheer speed. Its legs and feet are able to grip any surface and climb vertical walls away from danger. Worst come to worst, if concerned, the gecko is able to detach its tail from its body in order to satiate its pursuer. So this makes me think that there probably are currently like a lot of responsibilities on your shoulder, or a lot of shoulds that you're feeling, even if there aren't like external pressures. You're feeling from yourself a lot of shoulds. And really getting into your third eye is kind of dropping those shoulds and getting away from the shoulds like they're a predator and really finding what actually is stoking your fire right now, and really being able to use some speed, positivity, sensitivity, and sacrificing of things to kind of move away from the shoulds into a little bit more of the inner desire, the inner fire. And the gecko wants to help you with some speed and some ability to kind of, duck under trappings of things and really move forward quickly here. So that's a positive, the fast speed of that is positive, like it should be with this as a guide for you. A somewhat quick process, so that's great. All right, this is where I'm going to leave you guys. If this resonated, I always appreciate a thumbs up. Little comments are always fun to read as well, and definitely subscribe if you are not yet. All right, I'll see you guys next week or next time in the next part of this series, back down in your sacral chakra, where you embody this in a different way, in a more creative way from the root chakra. The root chakra is finding your belonging and your sort of alignment, and now we're going to sort of transmute the blocks that we had to kind of get rid of, and use fluidity and vibration to change them, to transmute them, and start moving some creativity and molding life with this. So that'll be an exciting week, and I'll see you then. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to your third eye chakra reading. It's our third of this series. If you have not done the first and second, I would highly suggest you do that, because these go in order. So this week we are, we've come from our crown chakra and getting some sort of inspiration. We've grounded it into our root chakra to find connection and belonging in our embodiment with this. And now we're moving back up to the third eye, where we are going to clear out any old programming that's needed in order to let this into the third eye, and in order to find some strategy and vision and, long-term targeting and aim with this. So for this reading, we are going to look at this top row in terms of what we need to know right now about what's coming in, whether it's things about timing, things about blocks that need to be cleared, anything that currently needs to come up to help this particular, part of the spiral of creation get into your third eye. So right off the bat, seeing conjunction and alliance is telling me this isn't so much a block. We'll see what tarot cards comes out with it. Maybe there's a block, but what I'm getting with this is that you have a very, very strong alignment and connection to your third eye. You may be someone who quite easily is able to find vision, find long-term goals, know trajectory where you're going with things, as well as being able to, through that, find the right alliances you need to move things forward. That might be part of your third eye, the gifts of your third eye. So let's get a tarot confirmation, something that Spirit is wanting you to know about this specifically right now, whether it's a block or some timing or just something you're needing to know about this. The Sun. Yeah, I mean, this is beautiful to see. This is sort of, to me, indicating that, your third eye is pretty open. Things are aligned, and it's like trust yourself and trust alliances coming in. There's fortune around it. That's beautiful to see. That makes my job easy. Whatever download is making its way into your third eye, whatever, the spiral of creation as it goes through your third eye, I think you're really going to be able to see really brightly and clearly where to go with this and how to make something about this joyful and brilliant, really cool. Okay, and then looking at 15, we have home and earth. And to me, this is saying, again, like there's some really beautiful cards up here. I just don't feel the sense of a lot of blocks. Maybe when we get here. It's sort of like there's something about the timing with the seasons and cycles. Like I think your third eye, I think really understands the rhythms of nature and earth and seasons and cycles in general of life. And I think Spirit is wanting to say really plug into that. There's something about that, something about timing here and being really connected to natural timing that's important for what's coming in here. Something I am picking up here, because I have 51 and then 15, so it's 5 and 1 reversed, is like something is coming in. This, whatever you're bringing into your third eye is going to create some shifts and new beginnings in your life, but you're going to have to kind of like bridge to a new way of thinking or being. So I'm not getting the sense of like old programming needing to be cleared away, but like a shift, like there's going to be a perspective shift, a new perspective shift sort of coming in that's going to help you bridge something, and being really connected to certain, timing that's right is important. The moon in reverse. You may have a sense of this, but it might not be clear to you. So I wouldn't be surprised if what I said here is like frustrating to you. Like, I would like to feel that, but I don't. And this is why. This is saying this is what you will feel when you've let it in, and when the timing is right, it will feel this way. So that's how you'll know it's the right timing. Things will just click. But right now, I think there's sort of like a fog over knowing. I think you have a sense that there's something about season, cycle, timing, divine timing, organic timing, but it's like you can't quite connect into when that's going to be. It's like you don't have a sense of like, oh, a week, a month, a year. And I think this is just asking you to trust. You'll know when you know. I know that's not very reassuring, but that's what I'm getting. You will know when it's right. Even though you can't see some sort of timeline in front of you, stay connected to your really deep sense of being able to see and have vision with organic timing and seasons and cycles. And by staying plugged into that, you'll know when this is right. Okay, and then the wilding, to me, this might also be where there could be a block that needs to have some clearing in general. I'm getting the sense of not even just right now, but like in general, this is a clearing that could happen for your third eye, is some old programming. The wilding to me is like the women who run with wolves, of like really letting that divine feminine more free and really dropping into what it means to be receptive, what it means to be sensual and embodied and receptive, liberated, free, mysterious, able to go into the dark, to find the mysteries and depths and richness of life. There's something that needs to kind of be cleared out of your programming that allows, like you may already do this a little, but it's like more. You need more of this for your third eye to really feel fully alive and liberated. And let's just get one confirmation. Yeah, exactly. It's like any traditions around you that feel stifling right now, this is the time to really let them go. Yeah, any really traditional programming you've had, any traditions that are prescriptive that you adhere to, there's something, it's not like you have to, if you are of a particular religion or philosophy or whatever. It's not like you have to abandon the whole thing, but what about it right now feels stifling? It's time to let some aspect go that allows you to be a little bit more femininely wild. Whatever gender you are, we all have a feminine side, a yin side, and what needs just a little bit more wildness, intuitiveness, flowing. There's something that needs some liberation here from something that's prescriptive, religion, something like that. So these are, a little bit of a block here, a little bit of insight from spirit about timing and trust. And this is a message about knowing the right timing and when something's clicked and come into your third eye. This is how it will feel. Okay, now down on this bottom row, we're going to look at in general. So this is a little bit more of current, even though some of it feels like it might be generally how things could work for you too around activation and blocks. But this bottom row is generally, we're going to look at how your third eye works, your connection to it, how it functions, all sorts of things. So this first card is going to show what your relationship is like with your third eye, and with some insight around that, knowledge of how to strengthen that relationship. So, more being able to more consciously know how to work with your third eye and what your relationship to it is. Oh, beautiful. You have friendship. And 22 is a master number. It's like the master builder. So and what I felt with that alliance and the sun too, you really have a very strong relationship to your third eye. And I love that this is actually coming underneath where I already felt that as you're very, it's a very positive, you have a very positive, very close, very open, accepting relationship with your third eye. And that allows you to really easily find vision and build in your life. So it says the energy of friendship supports our intrinsic desire for connection with others based on mutual affection and appreciation. So building, not only do you have a strong friendship with your own third eye, but it helps you to build relationships in general and friendships in general and alliances in general. There's something about your third eye, your relationship with it, that really builds relationships in your life and alliances in your life. So actively cultivating friendships strengthens your relationship with your third eye, and actively allowing your third eye to lead you and give you vision toward how to build alliances and friendships also strengthens it. It goes both ways. So really cool, really beautiful. What a lovely connection you've got with your third eye. That's great. Okay, confirmation, Six of Swords. And specifically, it really, and Six of Swords is an Aquarius card, which is friendship too. But specifically, it really helps you to, the friendship you have with your third eye and the alliances that sort of this connection really help you to cultivate, also help you to constantly sort of upgrade the different shores you have available to you that become more and more and more calm and more uplifting. And so it's the more you create friendships and networks and alliances, the more you have access to opportunities that make your life more and more beautiful. So that's, wow, that's so powerful, you guys. Okay, this next card is going to show us patterns that will arise when you are working very positively with your third eye. Judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. again, so Aquarian. There's something very Aquarian about your third eye. It doesn't matter if you have Aquarius in your chart or not, or planets. We all have Aquarius somewhere in our chart, but there's something very Aquarian about your third eye. It's this ability to accept people as they are. Yeah, and that's like a pattern you'll see, is this deep sense of just like accepting everyone for who they are, accepting humanity, feeling positive about humanity, positive about letting people be whatever shade and spectrum they are, and knowing that through connecting to that diversity of what is out there, it only strengthens our possibilities in life and our ability to see the future and what is possible in life. So really cool. Okay. Ooh. And this one wants to come over temperance. Yeah, it really gives you a beautiful, you know, when your third eye is really going, it's just like, I just feel like this deep love of people and humans, and it helps your life just flow. It helps you to balance different, because this would naturally could potentially bring in a lot of complexity where you are having to create, you know, there's all just so many different types of maybe people in your life that sometimes can be complicated in terms of like, you know, if you were to have a birthday party, all of a sudden you're throwing just like the melting pot in, you know, and sometimes that can be sort of like, I don't know if all these people will really connect. But there's something for you that when you are in this place of really being accepting and open and loving everyone for who they are, and really having a diverse set of alliances and friendships, it really, like, you're masterful at bridging worlds, and you are able to make worlds flow, and your world expands and flows, and you hold this, like, you're just really able to hold the spectrum of things in just like a really beautiful way. So that's what you'll see when things are really working well with your third eye. Okay, and then this last card, we are going to look at sort of the process of your third eye. What does it feel like when it's working? What does it feel like when it's activated and integrating something into it? And you have Con, which is seed. So yeah, I mean, that doesn't surprise me. This is sort of the seed, and this is from the Mayan archetypes, or they're called seals. And this particular one is sort of their version of, or their description of the seed as their archetype is that ability to see the highest potential of anything, to take things and know from the seed form where its highest potential is, which is so aligned to the third eye too, that vision. So when your third eye is in process, it's really getting a lot of visions about things that are initiating and highest potential of where anything can go. Yeah, so it's really, really beautiful. Wow, you guys have such a beautiful reading for this. 10 of coins. Yeah, and it's really helping, you know, and the potential you tend to see, the highest, where you are able to envision things going from seed phase, is how to fully integrate things into sort of movement and community and commerce and values, and that, I don't know, it doesn't have to be commerce, but that's just what I'm feeling, that ability to know how to take things from seed form and get them to a place where they're really exchanging and moving and flowing in the world in a material way. Really gorgeous, really gorgeous. Okay, so I have 2 more cards I want to pick that are going to be a little bit more specific to what's coming in right now. So we sort of looked at blocks right now, or what you need to know about getting your third eye open right now. But now we want to look at specifically, even though I'm keeping it very open because you guys all have your own sort of, whatever your download is, I hope you're keeping track at each chakra point of like how this is changing and mutating. So, I'm not being too specific because that's unique to each of you. But I want Spirit to come through to give some insight and a positive message around some guidance right now about this message this creation that's trying to make its way into your third eye at the moment. Pheasant, the time is ripe for creation and connection. Focus your attention in these areas. So yeah, you're going to know the timing when it comes. Really stay connected to right timing, what feels organically right, and look for the connections to be made. And I think when you're just like aware of those two things, this feels easy to me. And then I want to also bring in an ally for you as you go through. I'm doing these readings a week apart. You may come to this once these are all out, so you may go a little faster. But in general, for most of you, it probably will be like a week apart between readings. So I just want to find an ally for you over the course of the week that has, some sort of guidance to help this process, to help you bring this spiral of creation into your third eye. And I picked the Nocturna Oracle for this because our third eye can really help us get into our subconscious and our intuition. And that's what this Nocturna deck is all about, the things that come out in the night. So really connected to, what's under the surface, intuition, subconscious. And so we want to guide for you down in this realm. So we got Night Blooming Water Lily. And I'm going to read from the book for this. I have to find which page it's on though. Okay. Okay, love, purity, optimism, eloquence, gorgeous. Water lilies are aquatic plants that grow in a variety of conditions. Given that they have a body of still water to reside in. In many cultures, they symbolize purity and love and are popular in wedding bouquets. They anchor their roots into the mud and produce a flower that blooms above the water. These flowers always return every year, even after the waters have dried up in the previous season. Perhaps you too have bloomed from the muddiness of life. I love that, and that gives more context around this moon in reverse and not feeling like you're seeing right now any sense of the timing. So I think, just imagine yourself as one of these lilies. I think you're down in that mud right now. And just trust that process that when the timing is right to bloom, you will come out above water and be aligned with the sun and feel a sense of blooming coming through. So just trust the process here. Trust that that's part of what's going on for you in this spiral of creation right now, is that you are a water lily and you're down in the mud right now. And hopefully sometime in the next week, you'll feel that sense of like, oh, it's time to come up above the surface and bloom into the light. Okay, this is where I'm going to leave you guys. If this resonated, I always appreciate a thumbs up. Little comments are fun to read as well, and definitely subscribe if you're not yet. All right, I will see you guys for me in a week when we go back down from the third eye down to the sacral chakra. So back down into more of embodiment. So in the root chakra, we grounded this, anchored it in, found some sort of connection, alignment, and belonging with it. But when we go into the sacral chakra, we're going to be transmuting anything that we had to clear out of our third eye to see clearly, to get our vision. And we're going to be transmuting it through fluidity and vibration and movement and feeling more flow in the body with this, and a sense of sensitivity in our senses and wanting to mold something with this. So that will be an exciting week. All right, I'll see you there. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to your third eye chakra reading in the Spiral of Creation series. So just a reminder, if you haven't done part 1 and part 2 of this series, these do go in order. So I would highly suggest, in terms of getting the most out of this at least, to go and do those first and come back here when you're ready. If you're all set with that, let's move forward with your third eye. So in this process, hopefully you've been keeping track. We've been at our crown chakra and downloaded some sort of inspiration. It doesn't have to be anything profound. You can, go back through this cycle every week for the rest of your life if you want, so don't put too much pressure on this. But hopefully at the crown chakra, you found some kind of inspiration that helped to kick off what you considered your spiral of creation. And then last reading, we anchored this down into our root chakra to find a sense of belonging and connectedness with this, alignment with it. That gave us some sort of motivation and vitality to move forward, like a green light. And now this week we're going back up to the third eye, where we connect to our inner knowing, so intuition, connecting to our subconscious. This is where we have information even about past lives, which is interesting. I only said that in your reading, I didn't in the others, so that makes me feel like we might have some past life stuff come up for you. And it's also where we are going to see what kind of old programming might need to be cleared out in order for this spiral of creation to really beautifully make its way into your third eye and integrate there. So we are going to start with this top row, and this is all about what you need to currently know in this particular spiral of creation. Whether there's some timing you need to know about, some information about blocks you might need to know about, anything you need to know. So the first card I'm seeing here, transits and climate, makes me think this is a timing message from Spirit. You will maybe know when it is the right time for this creation, this spiral to really, for your third eye to really open to it, which might take, a few days from seeing this reading. And I'm even just looking at this body, like you may at the moment feel very closed to wanting to allow this into your third eye, where you do find vision and strategy and ability to plan around this for the future and take this, what's the long-term goal here. There may be something where you're just like not ready to see yet. So you may feel a little bit closed off to wanting this spiral to enter your third eye at the moment. But with transits and climate, this is indicating that that's okay. Be patient with that, because there's some kind of timing coming through, some planetary alignment, lunar phase, whatever it is, that will kind of make you feel like the alignment and the time is right to then open to this. So just be patient if you don't feel ready to open to this, to really wanting to see the big picture here at the moment. That's okay. Something will unlock this through like a planetary transit that's because I'm doing these a week apart within the next week. Okay, we're just going to get a confirmation here. 7 of coins. yeah, I think there's like some, I think things while you're waiting for this transit that you can do to help prepare yourself and make your inner personal timing right as well, is to really invest in yourself. What is it you need to invest in yourself and believe in yourself to help you feel ready as well? So this is talking about externally, maybe, you know what, something to be aware of, but internally what you can also be doing to just make this even more strong and exciting. And then seeing the 5-5 here in this card does make me feel like some closed offness around your third eye may also have to do with the fact that whatever is coming in is potentially really going to create a lot of change in your life and a need for a lot of movement, and something's going to happen very quickly when it does come. So I think you're sort of like, I think you have a sense of that. And so you're just sort of like, hold on, I need a minute. So that's what I'm seeing that's coming once this does open. I think there's something that's going to come very quickly, really create movement, speed. You know, the 5 is connected to Mercury, Quicksilver. Let's find a little more context with the tarot. So Wheel of Fortune. I think you've been waiting. It's funny because I think you've been waiting a long time for this and working really hard with that 7 of Coins. You've really been cultivating something, this change coming in and waiting. But now that it's like right at your doorstep, you're kind of like, wait, hold on, I'm not ready, even though you've been waiting ages. And so yeah, there's just like a slight resistance in you, even though you've been working hard at this. But you'll know inwardly when you feel strong enough, and you'll know externally. I think the world is also going to press on you, and this Wheel of Fortune will move from reverse to upright, and it's like a new season or cycle of life is coming. That's very much so connected to this spiral of creation. Okay, and then release. That's definitely like a block. There's just something, and I'm seeing a moon here and a frog. So I think of water with both of those. Oh, and there is water down here. It's hard to see probably for you guys. I don't know. Anyway, there is water sort of right here. Anyway, emotional release. I feel like there's an emotional clearing. You may need to shed some tears or take a bath, whatever it is to you, something emotionally cleansing wise, purifying, just needs to kind of move out of you. And that might be where you're closed off as well right now to this. And like, I've worked so hard for this and waited so long, but like, oh, the gate is opening. Wait, I really need to like release some things first before, so that when I cross that threshold into this new cycle, I am doing it really sort of purified and clear, you know. And we've got Knight of Coins. Yeah, beautiful. It's like you really want to do this with integrity. You really want whatever change is coming in here to feel, you really want to respect it. You really want to make this a beautiful sort of like mile marker, an important moment. And so you want to feel cleared and purified and ready, you know? So I think it's really beautiful. The blocks that are there are actually beautiful, and it's just more about being ready and releasing anything that you're feeling like is on that, like right at the surface, ready to be released. Because I do get that sense that this is moving you to a new chapter. So maybe there's just like, you know, some things you need to, some loose ends to tie up, some, you know, just an example, I don't think this is for everybody or even anybody in particular, but like maybe this will create a move to a new city or a new country, and there might just be like some goodbyes, some bittersweet things you need to just like get out of your system, you know. Really connect to the beauty of what this past cycle was about, and clear any error, just make it feel like it was a beautiful, honor what was beautiful about it, and yeah, that's what I'm feeling. So a few things here: being ready yourself, waiting for the right divine timing, because what's coming is going to come fast when it does come. And your third eye is going to have, it's almost like your third eye will have this vision that's like, a lot of times when we want to go from point A to point B, we actually have to go from point A to C to W to X to N to L, and then we can go to B. But for this, I feel like there's been so much energy, not in just this spiral of creation. This is just the one that's like igniting the actual change you've been working so hard toward. And it's like when this comes into your third eye, you will have that point A to point B in an instant. There will be no other stops. And so, yeah, it's just like, make sure you're ready, because when it comes into your third eye, man, is it going to come fast. And so I think it's beautiful, these blocks is like timing, aligned, ready, and really taking the time to honor and anything that was beautiful from a past chapter, and preparing yourself to really honor what's to come and take it seriously, and make it, you know, real and profound for you. So this is, yeah, really beautiful stuff. Okay, we are now going to move down to this second row, which is more general and more about how your third eye works. What's your connection with it, your relationship with it, all sorts of things. So we're going to start with the relationship. What is your relationship with your third eye? How do you, with insight of knowing what your relationship is, then how can you build a stronger relationship as well? Third chakra. The energy of the solar plexus chakra helps us to realize who we are and who we want to be, so we can set a course toward our goals. So this makes me feel like that when you are really activated, alive, and healthy in your third eye chakra, or sorry, your third chakra, your solar plexus, something about that confidence that comes in that chakra strengthens your relationship to your third eye, which makes sense. It's like confidence in yourself helps you to really trust your inner knowing, your sight, your intuition. So it's sort of like, yeah, the more you can build your own confidence, your own sense of drive and willpower, the more that strengthens your third eye chakra. So that's a really great thing to know. The more you're confident in yourself, the more you have sight and vision for your life. I mean, that makes total sense to me. Okay, let's get a confirmation for that, a little more context. 6 of Coins. That's beautiful. It feels like this real deep understanding too of the flow of give and receive in life, especially around how you value things, the material world. So there's something tied in with like when you're feeling confident and driven, something about that really moves the inhale and exhale of value in your life, the flow of receiving and giving in your life. And the more you engage in a flow of giving and receiving in terms of value, it doesn't have to be financial, it can be generally valuing things, taking care of things, valuing others, valuing yourself, but it can also be material or financial. But the more you really engage in a flow here, a give and take here, that also strengthens your confidence. So it kind of goes both ways. And I also feel like the more you allow yourself to have vision and set goals, that also strengthens your solar plexus as well. So when you strengthen your solar plexus, you strengthen your third eye. And when you strengthen your third eye, you strengthen your solar plexus. There's a direct link for you in your wiring here. So the more you work on vision and goals, the more you develop confidence, and the more you work on confidence and willpower, the more you strengthen your ability to have vision. And something about that, you know, on 6 and 7 of coins, right above each other, it really enhances your sense of self-worth and willingness to let value flow in your life. Okay, this next one we're going to look at is going to show the patterns that will arise in your life when your third eye is healthy and active and working really well. Failure. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. So to me, what this is saying is when your third eye is really working, you have all the confidence in the world and trust in yourself to take risks despite the potential of failure, to be a pioneer, to be an innovator. And that every time something falls, you're a step closer to a huge win. And you're not afraid of that when your third eye is working really well and active. You're not scared to fail because you know it's a learning process. And you know that at some point, as you go through that process and take risks and learn more and more and learn through to what's coming through to me is like baptism by fire type of learning, experiential learning. I think you're an experiential learner. And that's what this is the more you allow yourself to be an experiential learner, which comes with, you know, some falls, the more you strengthen your ability to really develop wisdom and really know how to succeed in a wise way. But you allow yourself on your path to success to have many failures. So some context here, 3 of Wands. Yeah, this is absolutely baptism by fire. It's jumping into things before really knowing what you're getting into because you're an experiential learner. And I think this is why there's such a strong connection from your solar plexus, your third chakra, to your third eye chakra. Is because you're more of an experiential learner rather than like a real planner and cautious person. You have to have this deep connection to confidence and willpower and a willingness to just kind of go. And so this is saying to me that when your third eye is working really well, you allow yourself to take leaps into the unknown. You allow yourself to not, your vision and your plan is to know that you will learn as you go, and to know that that is going to come with some falls, and to know that eventually when you arrive at your success, it will be because you earned it and through a path of wisdom. Yeah, so that's just part of your wiring. I think you just jump in. So I can relate to that. So the last card we're going to look at in this portion of the reading is what is the process? We're going to look at what does your third eye feel like when it is active and integrating something? Like, what is its process? How does that feel to you? Oh, beautiful. You have, I don't know, a how, but it's the sun seal in the Mayan archetypes, their day-keeping archetypes, the silken, which is all about enlightenment. When your third eye is integrating things and active and in process, it very much so is bright, it's illuminated, it's inspiring. Yeah, that's gorgeous. I think you really trust the divine, which is why you trust being able to jump off the deep end into things, is you sort of trust that spirit is leading you in on the correct path. I sort of feel like a lot of people here may be younger souls, so like in your third eye, because it's also, and I did say we were going to probably talk about past lives. Interesting. I feel like because our third eye is connected to our past lives, you may not, if you're like a younger soul, you may not have as much to go on as older souls. And so there is a deeper reliance on divine timing, on spirit to lead you, and this willingness to just be brave, to push and grow, because, as younger souls, there's a lot more energy in you. And when you have that deep reliance and trust on spirit, it's also what makes, like, when you think of younger, not saying you're a child or an infant by any means, but when you think of children, they're so trusting, and that's what makes them so lovable. And I find that really young souls are the more lovable ones in our world, because there's just like this innocence and this purity and this trust in spirit and the divine, and so such a deep open channel too. So I feel like that's something you feel when your third eye is in process, is just like this deep trust in spirit. And a lot of, because you have such deep trust, there's just like a lot of illumination and brilliance that it feeds you. Really, younger souls I find to be very sharp and very smart. Just like as infants and children grow and develop so rapidly, you guys do too. If you relate to that, as you don't have to be a young soul in this. It just feels like that marker. So if that resonates to you, it does. If it doesn't, then maybe you're not a younger soul, but for some reason you still have this like really deep, trusting, open connection. Okay, some context. Yeah, Knight of Cups. You're just like willing to push forward, to feel what you need to feel, to move how you need to move, and to feel inspired and so connected to the divine, which gives you some poetry in life as well, and some real, not in like an intellectual way, and like the way you move is poetry, the way you are inspired is poetry. And I think that when your third eye is really processing things and working on things, you probably have this sense that a lot of people are enjoying watching you, because there's just something very illuminated happening. It's beautiful. Okay, so to end the reading, we're going to do 2 cards to help give, we already have this. I'll hold on for a second. To help give some inspiration, encouragement, guidance for you as you work with this third eye reading, and potentially the next week or so. What is it Spirit wants you to know about your particular spiral of creation and what's coming in right now for your third eye? Anything to know. So you've got Robin for just like a beautiful, simple message, which is new growth and potential is on the horizon. Reach out and embrace it. Yeah, I feel that for you. Like something really beautiful is about to grow and unfold. And when you feel you're ready, all you really have to do is reach out for it. It's already there. I think there's just some things that you want to do first, and that's fine. Okay, and then the last card I'm going to pick, I'm using this, I chose the Nocturna Oracle for this. I wanted to bring you an ally for the subconscious terrain, because that, you know, our third eye has so much to do with really having the courage to go into our subconscious in order to know really underneath the surface of things what's motivating us, what's blocking us, whatever it is that we need to know to really move forward. And so this Nocturna Oracle is all about the things that come out in the night. So it's very connected to connecting us to our intuition. And so I want to find you an ally for the week from this, and an ally for helping you to move the spiral of creation into your third eye. So you've got mushrooms. I just have to find the page for this. Okay. Growth in dark times, longevity. Asian cultures associate mushrooms with longevity and strength. Certain edible mushrooms, such as shiitake, were used as herbal remedies for centuries. Mushrooms grow in the darkest, most unexpected places, in damp soil and rotting wood. Some species, such as morels, grow in places where there were previously fires. Even in difficult times, life finds a way. And that's beautiful. I think that, yeah, I mean, that gives some insight that maybe some of the releases you're needing to do before you're really ready to move forward, and why you're closed up a little bit in terms of feeling like it's time to reach out for that growth, is like there's, yeah, maybe some dark times you've been through that will just take a minute for you to kind of trust that there, you know, that growth comes from places where there's been decomposition. And so trusting that process of things, oh, that's what it is. Whatever you're needing to release or let go of is going to be the food and the detonation for this timing to be right and for that movement to go forward. So it's sort of like trusting that maybe some darkness you've been through is the exact fertilizer and degeneration you need, the exact fuel you need to launch into this new cycle. And I mean, it makes sense. Like maybe you're launching off of a failure you've just had. So it's like connecting to that confidence that I sense that this time around, the experience you've gained, you're going to get it right this time and find an actual success in a chain of potential failures. You know, you've gained the wisdom you need to actually turn the wheel. So, all right, this is where I'm going to leave you guys. If this resonated, I always appreciate thumbs up. Comments are always fun to check in on as well, and definitely subscribe if you're not yet. All right, see you guys. Hello, Pile 4. Welcome to your third eye chakra reading, which is the third in this series that is a spiral of creation. So if you haven't done the first and the second reading, I would suggest as another reminder to go do those first, because these do build off of each other. So if you're in the right place, you're ready for this reading, hopefully you've kind of kept track of moving through those first two chakras. So the crown chakra, kind of having noted down simply what your inspiration was, or the spark that kind of kicked off this creation for you. And then down in your root chakra in the last reading, how you found sort of connection and alignment and belonging in your embodiment, in your grounded life. And so now this week we're going to take it back up to the third eye, where we are going to see where there might be any old programming that needs to be cleared away to really let this fully come into your third eye and allow your third eye to find some vision, some strategy, some long-term planning here, and use its inner knowing and its connection to intuition around this as well. Okay, so to start the reading, we are going to look at this top row to see anything that Spirit wants to tell us right now in order to get our third eye active and open, whether it's something about timing or blocks we need to be aware of, etc. So starting with this first card, we have Ascendant and Entrance. So Spirit is wanting to say something about this really, as it comes into your third eye, I think you're really going to be able to see through whatever's coming in, like a new potential of like how to get to a new start, how to find your entrance into something that maybe you've been longing for. So let's get a confirmation about how, so 3 of Coins. There may be others in your life, whether it's people you're working and collaborating with, or people, if this is more of a private realm, like people in your family or something, sort of like you need to get a little bit more on the same page. But there's other people involved here that if you can, whether it's making sure you're on the same page and working well together, or whether it's a matter of just like really needing to inform people that this might affect whatever you're bringing into your third eye, that will really help to clear any blocks in your third eye from being able to have the vision of knowing how to get to that fresh start, how to find the entry point that you're desiring around whatever this creation is. Okay, and then we have Adventure and South, and this definitely makes me think that there's some change, like the entry point you're seeking is like a broadening of life. It could be literally some sort of like move that's a little bit, foreign. Could have to do with travel. It could have to do with I don't know, just like general recreation. Just like something exciting though, that feels like you're trying to find the entry to something that will bring some excitement that you're maybe craving. Let's pull a confirmation here to see what Spirit is wanting to add to this. 4 of Cups. Yeah, I think you're needing, I think you're desiring, you're hoping that this spiral of creation will bring an entry point, help you to know how to enter into something that will really bring more, excitement, passion, boldness, flavor to your life. I think you're a little bit like stuck or stagnant right now. And what I'm feeling you're needing in order for this to come in really work well in your third eye, what you bring in is needing, and the third eye will help you with this, but it's just kind of confirming that in order to get to this entrance you're desiring, not only do you need to kind of really either inform or get on the same page with some people, but you need a more clear sense of what this is, where you're going, the how, the why, the where, just like a little bit more specific. There's like more specific things. For some people in manifesting, For some people, you can be peripheral and a little vague, and for some people, and I'm getting this from a system called human design. It's sort of an offshoot of astrology, and there's different ways it talks about people being wired in their cognition. And for some people, you have to be incredibly explicit and like specifically name everything about the manifestation you're looking for. And I feel like this is you guys, and I feel like you're in more peripheral, vague. I just want adventure, and maybe like generally it'd be cool to move to Chile or something like, but it's sort of like that it's not specific enough. Like, what would you do there? How are you going to get there? What budget do you need? How are you going to make money there? Like, you really need to make some intentions with moving this into the third eye. And I might be totally off the mark in terms of what I named here as just an example, but whatever it is for you, of getting really, really specific into the minutia of things, of what you're trying to manifest, name it. And don't do it in this way of like, well, how could that happen? What do you want? Don't sit there and puzzle over, well, how can I make that happen? How can I get from point A to point B? Don't worry about point A to point B. What do you want specifically? Name that. And that's what's being felt. That is something coming through from spirit. It's not a block, it's some advice about how to really get the most out of your third eye moment with this spiral of creation. Okay, and then ascension. I feel like this is spirit saying that this really, really, really has the potential to give you that entry point and to give you ascension, to give you adventure, to really expand your life, to move it to a new octave, a new level, a new connection even to consciousness and functionality. But it's just like you need to get more clear. But let's see what the tarot wants to say specifically about this. King of Wands, you have sort of like, just know what you want and name it. Don't worry about how you get from point A to point B. Be bold. You have mastery, you have excellence, you've got creativity flooding out of you in a way that you know exactly how to direct and use the vision that King of Wands energy has to imagine where you are now and where you want to be, and write everything about that. Where is that point you want to be? How many years in the future is it? How long have you been there? What does it look like? What are you doing? How do you feel? Everything. Write a narrative about this. How do you want your life to ascend? And how will that ascension support you being a masterful, creative leader, or just a masterful, creative person? Whatever it is. So this isn't so much about blocks. This is a lot of guidance from spirit about how to use your third eye. It really wants you to get the most out of it. So it's telling you, it's giving you explicit direction the way it wants you to give explicit direction to. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, we are now going to look at this bottom row. And this is more general about how your third eye works, what's your connection with it, all sorts of things like that. So this first card we're going to look at is, what is your relationship with your third eye? And so with that insight, how can you build a stronger relationship with your third eye? Hence an ability to envision and plan and trust intuition and stuff. So forgiveness, the energy of forgiveness strengthens our capacity to let go of unwanted feelings and emotions. And I don't know, whenever I see forgiveness come up in sort of like oracle cards and advice and guidance, I always think initially of self-forgiveness. When we know how to self-forgive, forgiving others is so easy. if we haven't gotten over that hump of self-forgiveness, forgiving others feels like this wall you'll never be able to scale. It feels impossible. So you have to start with you, like cultivating a sense of real deep forgiveness for you're human. You know, humans are messy. Humans learn by messing up, by trial and error. I think that you're a very maybe sensitive person. And so you build up a lot of emotional and feeling things because of that sensitivity and feeling a lot, and a lot more than other people do. And so you just need a huge extra dose of forgiveness, all around, first for you and then outwardly, because you just pick up so much, I feel like, and it makes you feel so much. And sometimes the things maybe that you feel aren't so pleasant, both about yourself and others. And it's like, I just want you to sit with that you're just more sensitive. You pick up things, and sometimes the things that you're feeling, that you judge yourself for feeling, aren't even yours. You've picked it up from someone else. It's not even yours. So you just need to, some of it is and some of it isn't. But the point is like, you are extra sensitive. I think a lot of people quite easily sort of just move along in life in terms of how they feel, and they're okay with having certain feelings and certain judgments. It's not a big deal to them. But for you, I think that sensitivity, it's hard for you to let go and like feel okay about things, because you're just like such a heart. I'm just feeling like a heart person. And so just sit with this. Just please sit with what it is to be forgiving of being human, and acknowledge the fact that you feel so much more than others, than most people. And so you just need an extra dose of self-forgiveness. Yeah. And again, I'm just feeling the need to say that some of the things you feel that are ugly, or towards people that are ugly, or things that you have a hard time letting go of, sometimes aren't yours. Sometimes you've just picked it up. I just feel that, like, so that's even like this extra dose of why you need more forgiveness, is like, sometimes you're just holding a lot of shit for a lot of people. Yeah. Okay. 6 of Wands. Oh, I love this. When you can create a practice of self-forgiveness, then forgiveness, and really just acknowledge that you're just more sensitive and you feel things so much more deeply, and so it hurts you so much more when you feel things about others, or you've been through experiences that are ugly. The more you can let go, like just really allow yourself so much more forgiveness, the more you are going to find the victories that you desire in life, that sometimes are just blocked because you have so many feelings and emotions swirling around in your sensitive sponge-like self. And yeah, the more you can just rid this, just really cultivate a practice of forgiveness, the more your third eye will just be open and clear and unobstructed by all this layer of things in you that you've picked up. And the more you're just going to find these like victories of just really seeing that your third eye is powerful. It is a King of Wands. It is masterful. It is powerful. It is so skilled and so creative and so amazing, and you can have all the victories you desire if you can build a strong relationship to forgiveness, which strengthens your relationship to your third eye. Yes, I love that for you. Okay, now we're going to look at what are some patterns that will manifest or be apparent in your life when your third eye is working in a healthy way, when it is active and healthy. Blame. I accept responsibility for my well-being, and this goes completely along with forgiveness. You're more sensitive. I'm just feeling this double down. You're more sensitive than most people. And so the responsibility you have in terms of being a sensitive soul is to take charge of clearing the emotions and feelings out of you. Take charge of clearing things that are not yours out of you. Take charge of getting clear with your own energy, and be assertive about that. Be assertive about forgiving all the things that build up in you because you're more sensitive, and by doing that you're taking responsibility for your well-being, and you're not allowing all the stuff that you sponge up to be the thing that determines your well-being. Hence feeling blame even though you don't know where to place blame, or having feelings towards others that aren't necessary because you just don't know where to place your energy, and there's just so much in you, so much emotion and feeling that's gotten stuck in your sponge porous boundaries. So just to be clear here, forgiveness and blame are not saying that you're someone who's done a lot of things that need forgiveness, or that you're someone that blames other people a lot. You're a sponge that just sucks the world in. You're completely at the mercy of your environments. And so you have to take all the more responsibility for letting things go, for weeding out all the energies you suck in that aren't even yours, and for just generally forgiving all the things about being human that sometimes you do mess up, and you just feel that more strongly than another person who messes up and probably just doesn't care because their awareness is much more limited. They don't see how it affects everything. You see how everything affects everything. So you take it so hard when you mess up, and you take on other people's shit. And so it's just like, you then need to take so much more responsibility for your well-being because you absorb so much more and you're so much more sensitive than most. Forgiveness, let it go, let it out. Alone time to get clear with your energy, practices that like exhale energies that aren't yours, inhale your energy back from other people. There's all sorts of things you can do about that, like energy containment. Be careful about the environments you put yourself in. That's a huge one. Okay, let's get a confirmation on that. Sorry, I went on a rant with that, but I felt spirit just sort of like, rah! 9 of Swords. Yeah, the anxiety you feel, you just, you take it all in and you feel so much about it unnecessarily, but that's also the beauty of your heart, is you are just so open and accepting, and you, by taking responsibility for your well-being in terms of cultivating really positive environments, being really aware of the environments you put yourself in and the environments you cultivate, creating practices of ridding things in you that aren't you, pulling your energy back where it's been sucked away from you, cultivating forgiveness because you have such a broad immense awareness of how everything affects everything. You just need to be more responsible about forgiving that, ridding it, letting it go, and making sure you're in environments that don't make you anxious. And something about that, so you'll know that your third eye is working well when it clearly gives you intuitions and insights about what to take on and what not, what environments to be in. And when you're taking responsibility for those things in your life, you'll feel a lot of vision come through and a lot of clarity being felt. So that's somewhere where your third eye can get really muddled is the amount of spongeness you are. You just take in so much, and that can really cloud your third eye. So the more you are being responsible for your well-being, watching your environments, shedding the things you need to shed, and practicing forgiveness, you'll feel a real lifting of anxiety, a real lifting of carrying other people's shit. So when you feel clear in your energy, through knowing you've been really responsible for your well-being, yeah, you're on it then. Your third eye is happy then. Okay, this last card here is all about what is the process, how does that feel? What is the process of your third eye, and how does that feel when it is active and integrating things? So you have Muluk, which is in the Mayan Tzolk'in, or their kind of day-keeping system. It's the seal of water and the healer. And exactly, it is the archetype in their system that purifies and clears things. So rituals with water to help you purify certain things. So even just like to make it simple, try taking a shower every morning and every evening, and imagine it washing off your day, washing off other people's energy. And as you inhale kind of that fresh, watery feeling, feel that calling back in your energy anywhere it got kind of left behind or pulled away from you. Just like rituals with water to really purify, and then also feel that what do you need to forgive today, both of yourself and of others. What can you just feel wash away? And when you feel that sense of like constantly feeling things kind of wash away and purify off of you, your third eye is really processing things, which gives me insight into the fact that your third eye itself it's got like some healer quality to it. It really has vision about how to heal. It has the ability, when you've been responsible about clearing your energy, it has the ability to see clearly about healing energy in the world. This is the healer archetype. So your third eye is very connected to seeing things and having vision of what's pure, what's healing, what's well, what's just sensitive and beautiful, and it's gorgeous. It's a really, really special, beautiful energy to have, and your process of it working, it will feel cleansing to you. And then 10 of Wands. Yeah, you'll feel it also washing away huge burdens that you carry. You'll feel it opening up to asking for help. You'll feel it clearing paths to get to finish lines for big things. You'll feel it being able to hold vision for very, very big, very visionary things, which doesn't surprise me that what is coming through now is this want for like something to expand your life and adventure, more passion. When your third eye is is processing things and open and working on things, it really knows how to clear the way to really big picture visionary things. Yeah, storytelling, even really knowing how to heal through narrative, knowing the trajectory of things. I think your third eye really understands trajectory too, and how to clear energy through understanding trajectory, hence narrative, anything big vision. Now it doesn't have to be around that. So yeah, beautiful. Okay, we're just going to get into a few last cards, or a couple last cards that are a little bit more, so up here we looked at currently what you need to know about what's coming in, blocks, timing, etc. And then we looked at some general connection to your third eye, how it works, how you connect with it, how you know it's working well. But I just want some guidance, even though you all are in your own, I'm not getting specific about what's coming into your third eye, because that's, your job to keep track of what's moving through this spiral of creation for you. But so since I can't get real specific on that, I do want some guidance from Spirit, sort of like a positive message that it wants to give you. The sort of encouragement to move forward. And then we're also going to look at, let's do that first and then I'll talk about the other card. Ooh, White Eagle, gorgeous. The connection to divine guidance is within you. Beautiful. Yeah, and I feel that with that King of Wands and Ascension, I think you know what you need to do, and you're feeling very inspired, and I think you have some spirit guides around you, kind of opening paths for you, helping you to see what's needed here. So trust those little nuanced, subtle spiritual pushings that happen. Trust your own third eye. Guidance is within you. I think you have a very refined, a very old soul third eye, a lot of experience, which means you have a lot of awareness too. But that King of Wands too, I just feel like with the eagle and vision too, even though it doesn't say vision, I just feel that with the White Eagle. I think if you spend some time getting specific about what it is, the vision, what's the vision of an ascended life you have, and spend some time fleshing that out really specifically, you'll be divinely guided. You will be guided by your third eye with that. It will go really well. Yeah. Okay, and so the last card I wanted to call in some sort of guide and ally for you in the coming week while you work with your third eye in this spiral of creation. Something to help you bring, things into your third eye well and work with it well and really find the vision, find trust and intuition, find the big picture you're needing here. Dusk. So beautiful. And this is from the Nocturna Oracle, which I picked because it, even though dusk isn't like a thing that comes out at night, it's connected to the night. So this deck is all about like what comes out at night. And so it connects us to our subconscious, which is also part of our third eye. So I just thought a guide from this would be beautiful. Oh, and it's the first card in the deck. Duality, cycles, beginning. Yeah, entrance to something that's going to bring ascension for you and passion and adventure. The Dusk card, along with her sister card, Dawn, represents the concept of duality and the cyclical nature of day and night. Dusk is considered the time right before sunset when darkness descends from the sky and the sun touches the horizon. During this time, nocturnal creatures start to emerge from their sleep. Where I live, bats can be seen flying around, their dark silhouettes standing out against the blazing sky. For this card, I decided to create a picturesque sunset typically seen on the West Coast or Hawaii, where I live and frequently visit. Watching the sunset against the ocean gives me a sense of departure as the light leaves these lands for other horizons. I absolutely got that feeling. I really think, not everyone, but I think, you know, a good number of you may be departing or looking for that entrance to move somewhere, and like really picturing a different, more ascended life, and like going, you know, even if it's not a literal move somewhere, it's like finding those right soils for you where you thrive and where you feel more alive and more adventurous and more connected to your passion. So something about that feels like it's coming through, and Dusk wants to connect you to, wants to be your ally and really help connect you to some kind of, yeah, departure, other horizons where you're more aligned, where your passion thrives more clearly, more easily. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, this is where I'm going to leave you guys. Next week we'll be back down to our sacral chakra, which is where we will take any old programming we cleared out through our third eye, through visions we got that helped us to see what needs to go. We'll take that into our sacral, and through its fluidity and sensitivity to our senses and vibrations, we'll transmute that, move it, and start feeling things that we want to mold with the physical world, with our senses, and connecting, yeah, our sensitivity, our emotions, and our physicality, our sensuality into, yeah, molding something about this. Okay, if this resonated, I always appreciate thumbs up. Little comments are fun to read, and definitely subscribe if you are not yet. All right, see you guys.